Hey guys, Logan here. I got a haircut. Today I'm gonna review Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover.
I heard ain't shit changed that you still ballin', yeah. She used to bust.
Before I jump into the video on this book review and summary, if you guys could leave a like for the YouTube algorithm, that would mean a ton to me. Alright, so The Total Money Makeover. This is the first financial book that I ever read that had a huge impact on me. Dave Ramsey's a really smart guy. I really like the stuff he talked about in this book, and I remember reading it the first time. I think I read this back in January, I would say. And at the time I was at work actually on my break, and I brought the book with me to work and was sitting there and reading it, and it was talking about like debt snowball and all these other terms that Dave Ramsey brought up that I just hadn't even thought about at that time. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna reassess this. If I'm gonna spend all this time at work, why shouldn't I pay attention to where my money's going? I really wanna share the baby steps that Dave Ramsey talks about in this book, so let's hop right into them. Baby step number 1 is put away $1,000 into an emergency fund. I currently keep my $1,000 emergency fund in my checking account because it's the easiest place I have access to it if I need it immediately. And it's okay to not be able to tackle all of your financial struggles at once. You're not supposed to. It's just like you can't make $1 million overnight. That just doesn't happen. So it's cool to take your time, and that's why most people are discouraged to start saving or start on the right financial track. My absolute favorite phrase from this book too is when Dave Ramsey says, you have to live like nobody else now so you can live like nobody else later. That basically means that you have to live life unlike how the majority of people that you see around you live their life, so that later in life you can become ahead of them or be more financially secure than they are. And that's what he's really referencing there. Think about all the people that you owe money to every month. It could be a list of 3 people, it could be a list of 8 people, maybe 10 people. Start with the smallest debt first. Maybe you have a student loan payment. By starting out with your smallest debt first, it gives you the confidence to want to keep tackling the other debts. No matter how little the first one is, it could be $20 to somebody close to you, or it could be $100 to the phone company. And now you want to look at these expenses after you cut the debts out and see why you owed it in the first place and how you can reduce your costs the next time around. In the book, he talks about how he was driving home one day from work and he couldn't decide what he wanted to eat, and then he realized that he couldn't make his car payment if he went out to eat that night. So he ate beans, and that made him really start to think about his finances. He's like, why do I have this car if I can't even feed myself the food that I want? His third baby step from the book is grow your emergency fund until it can cover 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So you want to be able to still live the lifestyle you're currently living, because you can afford it, but now you lost your job. Luckily, over the past couple of months, you were saving your cash from the $1,000 you built in the emergency fund to now around $6,000 to $7,000. And all you need to live for these 3 months is $2 grand a month. So you got that covered. How great does that feel? Imagine that you were still back paying your debts away. You know, like, that's just not something you want to do. Dave Ramsey talks about it a ton. Throws us into step 4, which is invest 15% of your income into a retirement account. I know a lot of people watching the video right now maybe aren't in that time of their life, but as soon as you can, start investing in your retirement. I've been looking into a lot of Roth IRAs recently. It's so cool for you now. If you followed all these steps, now you have your monthly expenses covered for a couple months. You're out of debt or almost completely out of debt. Now you can move money into a retirement account. Dave Ramsey suggests that you devote 15% of your income to your retirement account because of the compound interest you earn on it over time. And we're gonna hop right into baby step number 5, which is save for your college. I currently attend community college. It is very important if you do plan on going to college to get an education. I don't think it's absolutely necessary these days though, especially with how many people are self-employed or freelancing. So it's up to you based on how you want to live your lifestyle. Dave Ramsey talks about looking at ESA plans or a 529 plan. I know a lot about the 529 plan. I don't know too much about the ESA plans though. The 529 plan is this like glorified savings account that you can only use for school. If you take it out and spend this money, or spend the money in the account on something that isn't your education, you'll get a 10% penalty on that cash when you withdraw it. It's almost like a Roth IRA. But like I said, college is completely optional. It is up to you. I'm still debating on 4-year university too, to continue my education based on how my life is looking when I'm done with community college. So if you really don't know what you're doing with your life, or if you're not sure if you want to go to college or not, or if you should put money away for college, do whatever feels best for you and how you want to live your life life, not based on anybody else's opinion. Baby step number 6 is pay your home off early. The earlier you pay off your mortgage, the less interest you end up paying over time. Put as much as you can down on your down payment. Really choose the house that you want to live in and see yourself living here for years. This one's one I'm only going to touch on pretty briefly because it's pretty self-explanatory. Just don't buy something you can't afford. Baby step number 7, build wealth and give, and continue to live like nobody else. You've only been able to get to where you are now because you've lived like nobody else has. So now you have all this extra wealth, you can give it away to charity, you can donate it, you've built all this stuff. Now you can go and buy that car that you've always wanted because you have all your debt paid off, you're financially successful, you're not living like everybody else wants you to, you're living how you want to live, and you've lived like nobody else. So now you've been in the left lane the whole time while everyone's in the right lane and they're still stuck in traffic. Now you're in the left lane with this car that you love and you're just flying by. I recommend this book to anybody who's in college or anybody who's very early on in their career. I think this is a great time for you to read this book. I'm very glad that I read it while I attended college and was just working this job, and I started to think like, will I be like this my whole life, or will I be able to take my finances under control and make the life that I want to live? Thanks again for watching my videos. I really mean it a lot. If you want to check out top 5 money tips for 18 to 20-year-olds, click over here. Otherwise, thanks for liking the video, subscribing, getting to this part. Really means a lot to me. I hope I provided value to you today, and I'll see you in the next one.